Today we're going to be discovering African art in the Eastern Southland Gallery and having a walk around the beautiful Dolamore Park.
Today we're going to be doing heaps of free stuff around Gore, and we start with the Eastern Southland Art Gallery. It's an art gallery in the little township of Gore, which is right at the bottom of the South Island of New Zealand, and believe it or not, it features heaps of African art. But we start with an artist more contemporary. It's called Jigsaw Life. It's a collection by Ian Stevens, and it's really cool. It's super colorful, and there's a lot of pieces of his life in kind of an abstract way. I really dig all the colors, even if I don't necessarily understand every single meaning of those pieces of art. But that's only a small room in the Eastern Southland Art Gallery, and we quickly move on to the main section of the gallery, which is the African art collection.
This is not what we were expecting when we walked into this little art gallery in the middle of New Zealand. There are all these African art and statues of Malian warriors. It feels like we've all of a sudden walked into another country. This permanent exhibition here at the Eastern Southland Gallery features pottery, statues and masks from all over Africa, from Mali to South Africa.
The most impressive part of the whole collection has to be those life-size Malian warrior statues. They are carved in wood and have amazing amount of details. I really did love them. The last section of the whole gallery is actually dedicated to more contemporary art from local artists. So there is a bunch of artists from New Zealand which have created massive pieces for the art gallery, including some really famous names, or at least famous in New Zealand, like John Monet, Rita Angus and Theo Schoon. The Eastern Southland Gallery was really impressive to us. We did not think that in such a small village we'd be able to find such a cool art gallery. It's free for anyone to get into, and it's an awesome activity to do on a rainy day when in Southland, because you know what? It does rain a lot in Southland, but today is not one of those days. It's actually a great weather, so it gives us some more time to explore Dolamore Park, which is also where we are staying tonight. The Dolamore Park is a huge park in the Gore area. There is heaps to do: playgrounds, gardens, even some bushwalks. It's really awesome, and it's super cheap to stay there. If you do have a self-contained camper van like we have, you can stay there for only $10, which is really cool, and that has been our accommodation right here in Gore for the length of our stay.
In Dolamore Park, we get the chance to explore the Croydon Bush Scenic Reserve, which is the largest part of surviving forest in the Hokanui Hills. There's about 95 hectares of podocarp forest to explore. And there's so many different bushwalks as well, which we're gonna take advantage of today. The walks range from about 10 minutes to 4 hours. And right out of the gate, we're seeing a huge diversity of vegetation here. For instance, here is the Hound's Tongue, which we actually learnt about when we did a guided walk back in the Fiordland National Park. We are using that knowledge as we are travelling around New Zealand right now, which is pretty awesome. Apart from the Hound's Tongue, we also see all these trees with flaky bark, as well as all this moss hanging from the branches, sort of creating a veil through the forest. There's a lot of information signs as well, telling us about the biodiversity in this forest and how it works as a jigsaw, all working together.
Since the walks are actually quite short, it gives us the opportunity to do at least a couple of them, which is really cool. But there is much more than walks in this park. We actually learned at the end of the walk that there is even mountain biking available here. There is quite a few mountain biking tracks which are grade 3, which is great for anyone to do mountain biking here. It's really awesome. And this wraps up our day exploring the little township of Gore. There is really heaps to do here, and we're really stoked to be staying in such an amazing area. The Dolamore Park is the perfect place to stay if you travel around New Zealand with a camper and make your way down to the township of Gore. And then we move on to some... How pretty am I? How pretty am I?
Really pretty.
Really pretty.